Now being recorded.
Hello everybody to another session, the first one is this year of the XStepCafe. As I announced this in the email I sent around, we have no topic this time prepared, so this is a more question and answers and collaboration between you guys. And if anybody has to tell something, some experience, or have any questions, please feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, so Arne, this is Ravi. Actually, we have a lot of questions, but again, where necessary, we can take that offline. Where you think it will be valuable, we can talk as a group.
Mm-hmm.
So we are currently
sometimes it's good because people or customers here also on the line might have done some similar things or have had similar questions, so it's always good to ask them here.
Okay, maybe I'll ask the first question and we go around.
Okay.
The first question I had, Arne, was regarding the change log documentation on XSteps. When you use an ECN number and you change your recipient BOM, the logging is kind of perfect. If I change in BOM quantity, it exactly tells you the old value, new value with the ECN. We were trying to see, can we, more for quality compliance, that how can we log all XStep changes? For example, if somebody changes a reference in an XStep, adds a reference, changes the page context, And we saw one report. I can have that name, but that report was too technical in nature, and there's no T code, it's a program. So we ran it in our test system using a C38, and we weren't able to interpret the data to say, okay, we now for sure know. So do you or anyone, did you guys were successful in having a change logging for XSteps so that you could exactly know who did what using which ECN at what point?
Well, first of all, I mean, since the XSteps are, at least in the repository, they are decoupled from the recipe, there's no direct link really to a recipe and change order. Correct, Uwe?
So I might jump in. What Ravi means is, if you have XStep trees that belong to master recipes that use engineering change management, and of course all changes in the XStep tree are tracked with the change number. The main problem is, with regard, if you compare such changes with the changes in the master recipe, you could have changes in values of an XStep, meaning that let's say an input field or variable gets another value, or you can also change the position of XStep sub-branches or single XStep trees in the tree. So you have a structural difference because it's a hierarchical structure compared with, let's say, the flat structures of an operation. For this purpose, the XSteps, they record their changes in XML file format. And I think what you saw was the report that we added for giving an evaluation of changes that I think that belong to the XStep of a master recipes. Other changes, those XStep trees and those XSteps, they are historical ones, meaning every time you have you record let's say a version of the master recipes using a different change number, you get also different versions of the XStep tree. What R tells about the XSteps that are handled in the repository, the standard XSteps and the corresponding XStep trees, they are non-historical objects. So this means that you don't, with one exception, you don't use the XML, or let's say the functionality the XSteps provide for recording changes in XML file format. The only exception here is if an XStep, standard XStep is released, and if you don't use, let's say, or if in standard, if you don't have the restriction that you release and approve the standard XStep tree, then you can also change parameters and values in the released XSteps. And in this case, as far as the XStep is released, you have the recording of XML files.
Also in the repository?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But what about the logging itself? As I understood the question, the log seems not to be very well user friendly. Was that also?
Yeah, and actually I pinged you the log. It's rtpc_cmx_display_access_c_log. So that's
Okay.
the program. I think, Uwe, is that the program you're talking also?
Yes, sure.
Same thing,
You're
right?
right. Yeah.
Uwe, do you have it? Could you show it? Just,
Yeah, I'm just so I'm just trying to get it also to get one system
so that we just see what is meaning.
Yes. Give me a second or some
But
seconds.
I think the answer, Uwe, just quickly is well, we don't have something more user friendly. It's just there,
No.
and you can access it. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even if you tell me that it's an XML file, and if I could, how do I read the XML file is my challenge. I went in, and if I compare to XML files, it's actually showing the changes at the parameter level. Let's say there were references with input parameters in the recipe. It was actually showing the changes, which is excellent. But on a holistic view, I'm trying to get it to the end or closure to say, this is how you can exactly see the changes, and that's where I wasn't able to proceed.
Yeah. So I'm just checking. I think I got it, but so just wait a second. So maybe I then can share my screen. I found some data here. Shoop. I just picked up the slowest of our systems. Yeah, so sorry. So hope that I got okay. Did not find any data. Let's give me another try. So what we also thought about, also the initial idea that we had was that if you have two XStep trees that with parts that belong to different change numbers, then it would be also fine if you can display them, let's say on a window, where on the left side have the one the XStep tree that was created or changed with the engineering change number 1, and on the other screen the XStep tree that was created using change number 2. So that might fit, that you get both XStep trees displayed, but then the problem occurs, then you see also the structure, but the problem then occurs, how do you get information if parameters or value of parameters have changed? This is not that easy to accomplish, to also identify which parameter was changed and which not. And therefore we decided to use or choose those XML file information, which is not the, so it has some, yeah, let's say, if you want to have the holistic view, like you said, then this might not that be comfortable.
Yeah, and it might not be in this session, but maybe you can send details later about how to use this. Like, we know that there's a report, there is metadata or raw data, but the interpretation, or if at all in long term, you can put any enhancement so that it clearly show, hey, ECN1 reference 1 was added, ECN2 new reference was added, and the first reference was deleted. Something like that. That's what it is.
Yeah. So we thought about it, but we didn't succeed in that. So perhaps, so if I'm lucky one, I might find some data. Otherwise, I can just show the others how this report can be found, because. So, okay. Perhaps we got one. Okay, I'll try to. So it takes some time. I'll try to share the screen, but not to make that it's too complex. I will just.
Are you sharing your screen? Right.
No, I'm just checking that. I'm just putting down my screen resolution. Otherwise, it would be not that nice to see.
Okay.
Okay, so just a couple of seconds. Oh, to keep the changes. So, I just share my screen and then. So, okay, I will just go back a couple of steps. What we do have for XStep trees that belong to master recipes and standard routings is that we do have this report. It was shipped with a node. I can also search for the node. And what this report simply does is, if you execute it, you can enter a search for a task list type and a recipe or a standard routing group. And then there's several select options where you can search for also for change numbers and let's say date range or the number of days we want to have check the changes. So I'm just executing it, and what you see here is, let's say, flattened the structure of this XML tree. So we had the root node, so the top node.
Do the others see your screen, or is it just me?
No, not yet, Uwe. Your screen is not.
Yeah,
It's sort of loading.
Sorry.
Only.
Okay, it's
No.
okay.
No.
Now it should.
Okay.
Then I will just go back.
It's good now.
A couple of yeah. Okay. This is the report. I suppose we are talking about shipped with the node, and if we execute it, then you get the selection screen where you can also narrow your search for changes. And here we have, let's say, the set information of the tree, beginning with the first entry, which is the root node. So I can show also how it then, so SXS, so get two.
So basically, we see every line is one change, correct?
Yeah. So correct. And here we do have, I think.
So Uwe, I lost my connection for some reason, but please go ahead and as soon as I get in.
Yeah. Okay. And so would I see we don't have any change numbers in here? Otherwise, we would have here. So these changes, they belong to trees where we don't use change numbers. If we would have chosen change numbers, and they would see another column, and then you can also mark. I think this would not work because they're different. And you could compare the changes. So it's really not that easy. To provide a comfortable one. So what I did here is I tried to I compared the two versions that we had, and what we tried to figure out is if, let's say, an XStep object didn't change its position in the tree, then and if you climb down the tree, then you find it at the same position. This means we have no item change, so it's at the same position. If the value is the same, then we have also the equality of the values. What we see here is that one description was added, so meaning.
But Uwe,
yeah.
How in this table? Can you find out where in sort of if you open up the XStep tree, where to find this place where you're looking at right now? So if you want to know, okay, I've got see some changes here, so certain parameters. So how do I know where to locate this in the recipe? So I think that's the issue here.
So okay, so it's if you want to search for the parameters, then you have to search for a corresponding XStep object, which is here in the list.
Could I use the find functionality and use that GUID to find that object?
I think this is the GUID of the node. Might work. Didn't.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, Uwe or Arne, the GUI ID of node, obviously, is this GUI ID of node of the XStep in the repository, or is it the GUI ID of node that's created inside the recipe?
Here we're talking about we are checking the objects of the master recipe. This means these are the objects that you had created in the master recipe.
And do we have a search functionality there in the XStep area of the recipe?
So yeah, Arne, you're asking questions. Okay, just give me.
I'm sorry.
And actually, this is actually very good. We thought that there is nothing in the system, but at least there is a beginning. That's how I see it.
Just let me check it. I will just close all windows here. So it takes some time. It's not one of our fastest systems. So try it once again. Okay, here we are. Hopefully we can see something else. So it might take some time. Okay, and I think I will choose. Well, we can choose this one, the first one. Okay. So standard way to maintain or display master recipe data. And hopefully we get an XStep tree. So might just check here, try to copy the GUID of the node for some reason. Okay, here we are. So this is what it looks like. I'll just explode the tree, and what I'll also do is I will display the object ID. So we will get it.
Could you do it once again? Where was that in edit?
Okay. So it's really slow. Okay, you get it. Go to edit, to display object ID or hide this object ID. It shows up. So double click on this. It shows up here in the node ID. So you see also we don't have here any change numbers. So node ID and object ID are the same. If we have two change numbers, then the object ID will be different for the second change number. So normal in standard case they are equal. Okay, this is the identifier. I think this is also the GUID that we saw. Okay, now for searching, you just have to think. So you see, okay, this is the standard search for the was implemented for the XStep editor. So I think it should be quite similar to the search that we have in a standard XStep repository. So, but as you can also see here, nobody did really use that. So now.
Yeah, and one thing, Uwe, is we tried to use the search in the repository, and it every time times out. But we do have a big repository, but when it doesn't time out, it does give the results. So
yeah.
So maybe we should have a background job for search.
Yeah. No. But there have been some, especially with regards to search functionality, some especially for the way used list search, some performance improvements, some notes. I don't know if they have implemented it, and also the one document where you can let's say refine the search. So it doesn't try for the standard XStep that it doesn't try to search all the objects, the orders, routings, and also the SXS. preferences, and this significantly improves also performance. Okay, what I see here is that I don't find any field. Could be that there is one where we can enter, let's say, at least the ID. So it is not realized. What here the context means is face context. I know that in general it should be possible to offer searching for a grid. I think the main case why it isn't offered here is because those step global unique identifiers they have not been visible for the users.
But
So,
if I mean if they would be visible then in the tab for XSteps, in the second tab, correct? Because it's the grid of the XStep.
yeah, you can in theoretically you could search for any grid. So what the search does is that it just starts here with the marked node and then climbs down the hierarchy and checks the values and yeah.
So alternatively, you could go back into the result and choose look up for some text which might be helpful to use in that search, correct?
Yeah.
So here in the column for text, you see something like parameter.
So perhaps for this one,
something like that, yeah. So we can sort of find it then.
So let's just try. So if you really okay, it could be. Hopefully I get it. Description, but I will just. Don't know if
so
supports.
the text is combined with.
Yeah, I don't know if this really works. So let's be surprised. Okay, here we are. Okay, and so if it's really fine.
That object ID we see here should be similar with that that we saw in the log, correct?
Yeah. Okay, I just open. So here it is, but then we can just. Okay, would be not that nice. DFT blah blah blah. So this is the grid of the persistent object, and this is the XStep tree, the XStep itself. And here this should be. So it's you're right. Would be nice to have the search for those grids. But we have been glad that we could implement something that evaluates those XML files. So sure, it's not that comfortable, but you might find the information. Yeah. So that's currently what we have, and comparing also those changes. What we also got as a question if you have those. If you have different versions of a standard XStep in the XStep repository, then also customers ask, could you have also a comparison of those of these versions? Perhaps you have one version with 2 XSteps, and the second one was changed in the next version of the standard XStep. And the main problem that we see here is, as far as you create a new version. By let's say if you copy it from the recent version that you had, or if you create it from scratch. If you copy with copy and paste, then all the objects that you create have different global unique identifiers, and this makes checks or comparison of changes quite different, because if you have, let's say, an example, root node object of the XStep tree in version 1. And the root node object in XStep tree version 2, then those two root objects have different global unique identifiers grids. So if you have try to check it with say a report or climb down the tree, do a comparison, then you would detect that they are different, and then you will get a comparison list that's unreadable and would show you too many entries. So okay, we've thought about if we don't let's say we don't have those checks for let's say, same global unique identifiers, then the problem may be that if you delete let's say an XStep and you create a new one, then you will also lose this information. So
maybe one thing which to highlight when you did the search in that column text, it's a combined text that you see here. So if you look use that text in the search, you need to cut something out there. So what Uwe did was the name Phasentext, which is German for phase text. So that's the parameter name, and the third part of that text, valuation mode of a parameter, is just some system thing. So the one thing you would choose here is the middle part, which is just the parameter name to find this in the search. I thought that maybe you didn't get that.
Yeah. Okay, and also the things that are listed here, if you see those entries, these are, let's say, this is the data of this parameter that was evaluated. So here we have an automatic valuation. We have also the characteristic that is assigned to this parameter, the type, local one, and the description is if something is maintained. There hasn't been one, but here the description Phasentext in German was translated. Yeah.
Why does it show also entries where nothing has changed, really?
These are entries where nothing has changed.
Yeah, and there below as well, there's something like valuation mode. It says A and A, so more down. So it's not every entry is really a change, really?
No. So we try to visualize if you have no change.
No value change. That's this column.
Yeah, okay. So see, we get all the tooltip text. So it's really not that easy. We also thought about if you think about this ABAP code editor where you can also compare the versions. Then we thought about also about, let's say, reusing it, but it wasn't possible for this kind of information. But in principle, you'll get here two versions compared, and yeah. And also you have, if I just go back, you can then download also the XML change logs. They're stored on a database, but in a binary file format, but you normally can't read them in a database. So there's a thought that you can also download these change logs as an XML file and have a look at it here. Yeah, and I think if I go in here, so then this is the navigation to the standard transaction where you have the change document display for master recipe group. So just execute it. Don't think that we see too much because we don't use any change numbers. Okay, you see quite old stuff here. Did some changes, and this might be here the change documents what you might use too. But this is standard, let's say standard, and you won't find any changes of the XStep displayed in here.
And that's one thing, like there was no object for XStep, so and the report is standalone. It does not tie in with that.
What do you mean there's no object? Do you mean change?
Like in the recipe object selection?
Yeah.
If at all XSteps was integrated, that exact report can show up here, like in XSteps, and then it should show all that. I mean, that's an ideal world, but
okay, no, yeah. Because here also the let's say the engineering change management stuff was implemented in a different way compared with the routings in the master recipes. The folks from engineering change management, they had a body approach, and we did some implementation for that, but it's different from, let's say, the way how engineering change management was implemented for the old, say, master data that we do have in the SAP system.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that it solves some questions, answers some questions.
Can you show us the transaction code for this?
There is no transaction code.
It's a report.
It's a report. You can assign it to an old one. I can also just tell you the note. So it's not available in. So we have, let's say, at least implemented to implement the SAP node for that, or have to be in a support package spec where this coding is implemented, and we decided not to create transaction for it. Also concerning this report, I know that there are some customers around that use it also during audits, and so they're quite pleased. But let's say the mass of XStep customers, they did not request for it because it's also
I would say the reason to use it is really an exceptional use case, and that's sort of on a regular basis. So as Uwe said, for audits, so just to show the auditor, okay, here we've got all the changes, so that he can make the check here. So okay, yeah, change records are there as well.
So that means what I am understanding is we need to implement the SAP node to achieve this change log, right?
Could be that you already have it in the system. So just check for the report. Yeah, if it's there, then you have it, because I think it's a couple of years old.
Okay. So what is the node, SAP node for this?
I will provide you with this on the webpage of the XStepCafe.
Yeah, as usual, when I make the post for every topic we discuss here, I have a small line in the table, and Uwe just send me the notes, and I will enter that note there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions, comments, feedback?
Not on this topic from me, Uwe.
Yeah.
Hello, Arnie. I have a question I asked some months before. It's about we have some problems or some things we would to improve in the XSteps. And I talked last time. I said I would like to start in CEI. And I tried to reach some people to get backers for the CEI, and there wasn't much response on it. And I don't
just for the others so that they know what you're talking about. The CEI means Customer Engagement Initiative.
Yeah, thanks. And
so it's a process of SAP to roll in requirements.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the right place to place this request, but I don't know where I could place it else. So I don't know. Can I talk about it or some things or?
Well, I think this is something for our solution or product management. Did I send you contacts on?
No, you
product
didn't.
management?
No.
Okay, I'll do that right away.
And yes, so. And I would if after I get the contact data from you, I would maybe, if it's possible, I would like to contact the people in the XStepCafe about the things we would like to change, and maybe the group can gather the things they would like to change and so on, and maybe we get some more points or get good points together. So.
So what you can do right away is use the Google Plus community to do some posts, and other people can also comment on that. But of course you need to then gather it and sort of hand it over to someone in a better way. That's good for collaboration. I think that's the best way. I mean, I could also do a post for you, and people could comment that on my blog. But I think the Google Plus community is very, very, very good now, and I think we have almost 100 people there already.
Okay.
And so that's a good point to do that.
Okay, so Yeah, okay, that would be a good way. I have no problem with collecting the things and them. Yeah, but there was no response in the last month, so I just thought I'd ask again.
Well, then to everybody who's listening here, also on the recording, please look on the Google Plus community, and maybe also I'm not sure, Pascal, did you enter your name also in the web in the participants list? I think I don't know what. Yeah.
I think I have made it. Yes.
But there's maybe I can briefly share my screen. So here on the XStepCafe, on Cafe, there's this participant contacts, and so everybody who agreed with me and also sent me an email with this agreement, I put here in that list so that you have a contact email. So if you want to start some more private discussions between each other, for the rest, of course, you can use the Google Plus community. So please have a look at the Google Plus community if Pascal posts something, and if you also feel you need to have a certain feature developed. I explained also earlier that well, resources are pointed on different tasks these days, which are more strategic. So it really needs to have more voices to make things done also on existing functionalities like the XSteps are.
Yes, but
so
I think it's the same in every company. If you don't raise your voice and say we want to change something, there won't be any project or any time to make the change. So
exactly,
we just have to gather the points we want to change and get them and communicate them to SAP, so they get the time for you to change it or get a project on it.
And just also for the recording here, this is Pascal who spoke right now from Schwabe, and you can also contact him directly if you want to team up with him. So this is his email address.
Yes, but you will get a mail from me because the email address is wrong. So you have to.
Oh, then please send me your new email address, and I will correct it. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Good. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have one simple question. I think it will be a quick one. In PI sheet functionality, while using it, sometimes we see that the value is, let us say I use a parameter for my calculation, and the set of parameters used are more than 3 decimal, and the final value I record is 3 decimal. So ideally, people would expect that it will either round or truncate or anything. So where Arne, in standard calculations on PI sheet, we saw that it truncates sometimes. Is that what it's supposed to do rather than round? Like if I go from a higher decimal to a lower decimal value.
First of all, I mean, just to highlight something. So the number of decimals is dependent on the characteristic you use for that process instruction. Yeah. And what you're saying is, if you use a calculation and you use some parameters there which have more digits.
Correct. So the characteristics, so let's say I use one set of characteristics. Right. So let's say I use a characteristic which is 4 decimal for all my input values, and I do my math, A plus B plus C by D or whatever, and I output it to a parameter E, and I define E as a characteristic with 3 decimal. So the behavior we see is that that E shows the value, like it does all the calculation, but it truncates to the 3rd decimal and does not round.
So it does not round.
Yeah. Is this something that you guys observed, or?
I mean, I'm not sure whether we can see this as a bug, or maybe Uwe can comment on that. But what I could suggest is you could try to do the rounding there in the formula itself easily, huh?
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing that we thought
So
of.
then that would solve it. But not sure. For me, it seems that this could be an error. Do you know about that?
No, but an example would be helpful.
Yeah,
Perhaps
but if that just truncates, I think it looks like an error. It should really be rounded. I think. Yeah, that's at least common
Yeah,
sense.
that's fine. I'll check again, and maybe
yeah.
I'll put a OSS to follow up
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
think. Okay.
yeah. Hmm. Okay. Any more comments, questions?
Yeah, one more question. Is there any easy way to download the standard files as templates for style sheet definitions? How to download
I didn't get the last part. Of the file for what?
the style sheet, the XSL style sheets.
I mean, the standard style sheets should be in your system, so you should get them there somehow.
I'm unable to do that.
I think.
I posted this question in our Google community, but somebody has suggested try note number 32997, but I am unable to find that note.
Let's see. Where was that? Uwe, do you know by heart the package where these are in? Or maybe I can just maybe that
Was it? I think
Oh yeah,
was
that was it. So here you see. So the transaction is SMW0, and the package you should look for is CMX_POC. So if I do it again, and CMX_POC, and like that, you should see all data that sort of is packaged for the PI sheet stuff. Also some pictures, images, also not only XSL but also CSS. So all things are there, and you should see here. I think that the TML, Uwe, right, are the ones that are more user friendly for reading. Correct?
Yes, and also those templates that you have to, if you create own style sheets, it is correct that you use the TML and convert it to the, I think, UTF-8 format.
And I think here that one should be the real standard XSL style sheet. So and then you should be able, let's see, export. Yeah, should be able to export that here, and there you go. You can download it from there.
But Arnie, there's a note that 329997. It's the download area of the style sheets, and there you can get the actual style sheets and some hints to how to import them and to get them work in the system. I
Yes,
think you should look at
true as well. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Because
So
if you export here all the style sheets and send it and so on, will be other problems, I think.
But
fair enough.
unfortunately, we are not able to. I tried this transaction, but I am not able to see this file. Is there any version difference? But we are in the latest.
Did you hold on? Did you select here the second
right.
value here?
I selected I selected the second radio button, binary data
Okay.
processing, and then I inputted the package CMX_POC and clicked on it. Nothing. I'm not able to see any file.
And if you do it the way I did it before, like so.
This I did not try. I did not try.
But that's really odd. I mean, the package should be there, and then the files should also be there. So
Okay.
not sure what's going on there with your system. But okay. Pascal, the note was 329997, right? Correct?
Yes,
Then,
correct.
then I'll just put that in the show notes. Okay. Okay.
And
Any more questions?
yeah, one more question. Do we have any sessions for scale interface?
Scale interface?
Yeah, earlier we recorded, or is there anything, something we can demo?
Yeah, we have. I mean, first of all, you can have a look at my at the session number 4 on the blog, so the recording. I did it then. I used OPC servers there, and I also used an own JavaScript HTML thingy with some third-party OPC JavaScript connector, which I don't have anymore, and I think I don't have this JavaScript stuff also anymore. So that was just for demoing purpose. So that's one thing. But the other thing is there are also scale manufacturers who should have their own solutions which work with the PI sheet as well. So there's one with Mettler Toledo, as I know of. Pascal can can confirm that, I think, because they are using that solution. We have a consulting solution. If you contact me, I can also forward your request to consulting, so that I can give you a demo or some information on that consulting solution.
Mm-hmm.
I think nowadays it's called different. It's not called consulting solution anymore. It's RDS. I think is the rapid deployment solution. Is now the term. But yeah, it's a prepackaged solution with some service offerings, so consulting and stuff like that. So yeah, that's possible, but it's not built into standard because also wastegales are quite different, and also the requirements are somewhat fragmented also, depending what use case you have.
Okay, thank you. I'll send you the email after I to your email.
Mm-hmm.
And one more question is, I would like to know how compatible the XStep screen with the SAP UI5. Say if I build a user interface to access from the iPad or iPhone or tablet or
well, first of all, the PI sheet work only with Internet Explorer, so you need that one. What I did try, and it worked fairly well, is for the iPad you can use a Citrix client, and that one is pretty good. You can do things like pinch and zoom in and make presses on small objects as well. So even if the screen is not really optimized for mobile, that should work. Of course, it's not as beautiful as a native app, which really is made for a mobile device. But apart from that, there's nothing we can really offer you. That's maybe also, Pascal, something, I don't know whether that's also something for you. I know when I did the project at DHL, DHU, that the project lead on your side really dreamed of a tablet version of the PI sheet there then. But at that time, I think the battery life was not sufficient for holding the whole day. Nowadays, it should be okay. But maybe if you really find that a real pressing issue, especially for small environments that you have there in your little milling booth, that might be also something if you can team up with others. Also, we have a lot of effort there, converting things to Fiori and mobile and stuff like that. It's not a simple task to do that. I mean, it would mean really redesigning a lot, I think, for that new device, and maybe thinking things totally different. I'm not sure what the solution management or product management is up to there in that area. But maybe you can also ask that question.
Yeah, I got it on the list.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I have
quick question,
one
maybe
last
now?
question. Yes. In the last time I have some problems in transportation the X-steps from one system to another. If I export the X-steps and import it in another system, I get an error message that it's when I import a new version, I get the error message that the first version or the original X-step isn't found, so he can't import the second version. I think it's because of we have our test or development system with two clients, and our testing system with just one client. So he shares the numbers and get wrong numbers in the system. And is there any possibility to fix this issue, or what can I do?
I pass this to Uwe.
Okay, thanks.
He is not the expert import stuff.
Yeah. So this means just try to figure it out. You imported, you created a version of a standard X-step in one system, and then you imported it into another system.
Yes.
And during the import, you also got the message that normally, we fixed that let's say the objects that are created in the new system, the target system, they are created as originals. So this means you get these green LEDs. That means that with respect to some that you can't change, that you have the same GUIDs for the X-steps and for the process instructions, as well as for the references. And if this is the case, and so this means that the standard X-steps to which the version belongs has one GUID. If you now create next version of the same X-step tree, the same standard X-step in the source system and transport it via the XML file download for versions to the target system, import it, then normally the system should check if you, let's say, mark the right standard X-step, that this standard X-step exists. I'm a little bit confused about the meaning that the version was not found. Perhaps might be good to check this offline in the system, what's happening there. Yeah.
Okay. I think the problem is as far as I get it, is based if there's an reference to another X-step. You have one X-step with first version in both systems. In this X-step you have a reference to another standard X-step, and after copying the one system to another and then change X-step in the copy of the system or make a second version, and then export the X-step to the old system and import it there. Then it gets it can't get the reference to the standard X-step.
Yeah, because you have then this means that both standard so the reference standard X-steps in the two systems have different GUIDs.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and this so we had as we had our first, let's say, trials for this XML down and upward. We stumbled over this problem. If you only, let's say, transport version data, then you might not, then you don't transport normally the data of, let's say, the standard X-steps that are referenced in the X-step tree. And this only works, let's say, if, especially the import, if you have the same standard X-steps that you referenced in the old version, if it does exist in the target system with the same GUID. Otherwise, it will fail.
Okay.
So what? Yeah.
I think at the moment we have one GUID in the system, so they don't match. I get an error. Is there any possibility to let's say rebuild the GUIDs and get them to match?
So what you might do is to delete. To delete. What you might think is, and it's really, this would be tedious. You have this XML file, and you might exchange the GUIDs.
The GUID in XML, okay.
XML file.
Okay.
Yeah, but we also had some checks during the import. I don't know if it's active at DHU that let's say handle such manipulated let's say XML files during import as let's say as fraud and won't.
Because you do manipulation, yeah.
Yeah. So I think in the standard it's just an information message, but yeah, you could, let's say, prevent manipulation there. Yeah. So that's not nice.
So the only possibility would be to delete the XSteps in the wrong system, I'll say, and import it from the correct system again. And we build all the links between the standard XSteps and to the master recipes, correct?
Yeah. Do you have the chance to transport, or does it make sense for you to transport, let's say, the folders that contain all the data?
That would be possible to yes.
Yeah, but what you should then prevent is that during what might happen if the objects already exist is that you get let's say information that the imported object was created as a copy. So the copy, so these are the yellow warning LEDs, and this means that they have different GUIDs.
Yeah,
during the import.
But if I do this, then I have still the different GUID, and I can change in the copied system and export and import to another system. I have the same problem again, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And how can I ever get a correct stand of the two systems? Or will it be impossible?
I'm just thinking why the GUIDs were different. So this is, but perhaps we can take this offline in a separate call if you would like.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to meeting right after this, so we need to close up.